This is a tutorial on the immediate future tense in Spanish. There are different ways that you can talk about the future in Spanish. The one that we're going to look at in this tutorial is the immediate future tense, where we say what we are going to do in the future. Alternatively, you can use the simple future, where you say what you will do. And sometimes you can even use certain present tense verbs to talk about your future plans. So the immediate future tense is used to say what you're going to do in the future, and it's formed by putting three different words together. The first word you need is the present tense of the verb ir, to go. The second word is to in Spanish, which is a. And the third word is the infinitive, and that is the basic form of the verb, to do, to dance, to eat, to sing, to sleep. And it's the part that you'll find when you look up the verb in the dictionary. So in Spanish, an infinitive always ends in ar, er, or ir. If we have a look in the grid, you can see the first column is step 1, the present tense of the verb ir. So the present tense is voy, I go or I'm going. Vas, you go or you're going. Va, he or she goes or he or she is going. Vamos, we go or we're going. Vais, you plural go or you plural are going. And van, they go or they're going. The second step is a, and the third step is the infinitive, which tells you what it is you're going to do in the future. In this case, visitar, to visit. So the infinitive can be an AR, ER, or an IR verb. So another example would be comer, voy a comer, I'm going to eat. Or if we have a look at an IR verb, escribir, to write. So vamos a escribir, we are going to write. Now, if we have a look at some examples, voy a visitar México would mean I'm going to visit Mexico. Vamos a comer tacos would mean we're going to eat tacos. Van a escribir una postal would mean they're going to write a postcard. Vas a beber tequila means you're going to drink tequila. Va a viajar en avión means he or she is going to travel by plane. Vais a vivir en Guadalajara means you plural are going to live in Guadalajara. Now let's have a look at the translation from English back into Spanish. So if we wanted to say he's going to dance, we would need the he or she form of the verb ir, which is va. Then we would need our a, and then we would need the infinitive of the verb to dance. Remember, that has to end in ar, er, or ir. So in this case, it is bailar, the verb to dance. So he's going to dance salsa would be va a bailar salsa. Remember that in Spanish, we don't need to use personal pronouns for I, you, he, she, we, you plural, they, etc., like we do in English. But you can put them in if you want to be more specific or give emphasis about who you're talking about. I'm going to the beach would be the verb I go plus an a plus the verb to go. Now don't get confused here because we are using the verb ir, to go, twice. The first time we're using it in the conjugated form of the present tense. So I'm going is voy. Then we need our little a. And then we need our verb to go in the infinitive form, which is ir. So the whole sentence would be voy a ir a la playa. And again, if you want to put something in clarification or emphasis, you can include the yo, but it isn't necessary. And one more example, you plural are going to sunbathe. So here we need the you plural are going form of the verb ir, which is vais. Then we need our a. And then we need our infinitive to sunbathe. And in Spanish, they say to take the sun, tomar el sol. So it would be vais a tomar el sol. O vosotros vais a tomar el sol. So here is a little practice exercise. If you want to do some extra practicing, you can pause the video and have a go at conjugating and translating these sentences into the immediate future tense in Spanish. I'm going to run through the solutions now. So first one was I'm going to read a book. So for this we would need voy, then a, then leer, the verb to read. Voy a leer un libro. Cut. Number 2 was you are going to watch a film. So we'll assume it's you singular. Vas a ver. You are going to watch una película, a film. The third question, we are going to go out. So here we need the infinitive to go out, which in Spanish is salir. So it would be vamos a salir. Question 4, they are going to go for a walk. The phrase to go for a walk in Spanish has quite a few different options in terms of how to translate it. So you can say van a dar un paseo or van a dar una vuelta. Or you could say something like van a salir a caminar or van a ir a caminar. Any of those are correct. Number 5, she's going to be a teacher. For this one, you may want to add in the personal pronoun for clarification that it's a she. So ella or just va if you want to go straight into it. Va a ser profesora. Remember to make your teacher word feminine to agree with she. And remember that in Spanish, when you're talking about professions and occupations, you don't need to include un or una. You just say, she's going to be teacher. So the answers for number 6, you plural are going to do the homework, would be vais a hacer los deberes or las tareas. Question 7, this is a tricky one. There is going to be a party. Now, how are we going to translate there? Because there is not one of our 6 options in terms of how to conjugate the verb, ir. So the way we do this is using our auxiliary verb haber, which you'll have come across in other tenses like the perfect and the pluperfect tense. Or you may just have come across it in the present tense when we say there is or there are. For example, we use I, H-A-Y. So in order to translate there is going to be, we need to use the third person singular, ba, which is like it, and then we need the a, and then we need the infinitive, which is haber. So it's almost like saying it's going to exist. So there's going to be a party would be va a haber una fiesta. Question 8, lots of people are going to come. There are 2 ways of doing this. If you opt to use la gente for people, you need to be careful because la gente is always singular. So you need to use the third person singular, va, in your verb. So it would be mucha gente va a venir. So it would be mucha gente va a venir. Or if you prefer to use personas, that may be more straightforward because it's more similar to the English. So it would be muchas personas van a venir. So whether you use gente, which is singular, or personas, which is plural, make sure your verb agrees. So va for gente and van for personas. Number 9, it's going to be exciting. Va a ser emocionante. And the last one, we are going to go to bed late. And when you are translating the verb to go to bed, that is usually acostarse, which is a reflexive verb. So you need to be careful with the se at the end of the infinitive. Because we're talking about we, you would need to change the se to nos. So you would say, vamos a acostarnos tarde. If you don't like reflexive verbs and you struggle with them, you could avoid this by using something like vamos a ir a la cama, to go to the bed. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. Muchas gracias por escuchar, and look out for my other tutorials. There's going to be one on the simple future tense, one on the present tense when we use it to talk about things happening in the future, and there will also be a tutorial on the mixed forms of future tense, so mixing together immediate, simple, future, and using the present tense to talk about the future. Gracias, adios.